Today was a bad day. I don't know how to say it. Every day is a bad day since he died. Since my dad died, I don't know. I lost like focus, like purpose, like reason. For me, my dad was the glue that held me together. And I have always suffered from depression, knowingly and unknowingly. Sorry for the popcorn. But he was always kind of like there, even in silence. My dad wasn't judgmental or wanting to fix stuff. He was just a good listener, you know what I mean? He was just, a butt kicker too. Like, I am the kind of person that I don't like, oh, like, I'm sorry for you, like, everything's gonna be okay. You're so talented, you're so good. Like, I don't want the compliment kind of friend, I guess. I want the kind of friend that will say, look, you're fucking over, you're being lazy, get your butt off, start doing something. And my dad was like, he was a good listener. He will listen to everything, and he always would say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I want this and that, whatever. And he would say, well, then what do you need to do? You know what you need to do, so you need to get off and get on it. What do you need me to do? You want me to go over there and make it happen for you? And that always make me like, I don't want my father to do it for me. I don't. But he was doing it for me just by saying the right things. I don't know. And it's been a little hard lately because, things are not going the way I normally wanted. And that's the thing. I have always been a very unlucky person. For some reason, nothing comes my way at my own time. And you will say, well, things don't come on your own time. But it's just, it's like nothing turns the right way for me. Like, every time I want something really, really bad, always something happened that I don't get it right there. So I go through life with a lot of disappointment. My life was full of disappointment from myself because it seems like I never reach my goal. No matter how much I work, I never reach it when I wanted to reach it. I always had to work more than others or, lose opportunities to later find them. But, it wasn't never, I never had the luck to get what I want when I want it. No matter how much hard I work, I always end up having it later or not having it at all. Most of the time, I end up not having it at all. And it wasn't a lack of work or, I never had luck. I never had luck. And well, my dad always told me to be grounded, he teach, because he was like that. My dad was a man who lived by the moment, who lived a life of never really having what he wanted. We always kind of fulfill our little desires, but never were able to fulfill big things. You know what I mean? We it sounds such a loser. It sounds like I'm such a loser or conformist. But I always everything turned not the right way for me, you know. Never, you know. I don't know. I wanted to be a lawyer, and but school wasn't for me. I have the worst study habits in the world. That was my fault. That was just my fault. So I turned. I'm a very hands-on kind of person, and people tend to listen to me, and people tend to do what I tell them to do. So I always wanted to join the military, but my dad was like, "You should go to college, whatever." That didn't work, so I ended up joining the military, and it was the first time that I felt like I fulfilled something. That was like a big dream for me. It took me until I was older, 24 years, to get there, even though I wanted to do it when I was right out of high school. But it took me 24 years to actually make it happen. And when I did, it was the best thing in the world. And I never saw myself doing anything else because I was good. I was good at it. I was a good leader. I advanced quickly. I was doing my thing. Everybody was noticing me. It was like, it's a good place to be. But then, I got a family, and unfortunately my older daughter was sick, really sick, and I had to sacrifice everything because your kids, and I don't regret doing that because my kid needed me, my daughter needed me, she was sick and she needed to do that. But right after I had to get out of the military because I had to take care of my kid, I fell in the worst depression I have ever felt in my life because I lost myself. I lost everything that I wanted to be, everything that I was good at. I lost it all in 1 second to come home and struggle a lot because my daughter's illness was really bad. It was really, we were more in the hospital than we were at home, and she was a very difficult child, So, yeah, it was a hard time, and I went into really, really bad depression. I thought about killing myself many times, and I didn't know anything. I have always worked, and that was the first time in my whole entire life that I wasn't working, that I was just being a stay-at-home mom, taking care of a sick kid, taking care of another baby because I had 2 kids, and my second child she is, wow. There's no words to tell you how much my second child gave me neon color white hairs, like neon color white or whatever you call those things. We call it canas in Spanish, so I don't know how to say it in English. Anyways, so yeah, it was really hard, and I was having such a tough time. And my dad left everything. He retired early. He hopped up in a plane, even though he left everything he knew and everything he had. He left it all to come and live with me, and help me out with the girls, so I can get out of my house and go back to work and back to being useful. And he helped me out with a little depression. I wasn't at home all the time and go to work. And it just, every time that I think about it, it just feels like I'm so selfish, that I was selfish. Because that probably was his life, He felt fulfilled. And I brought him here to have to take care of kids, And he didn't seem to mind it for a while. But I feel like he was tired at the end of it. I don't think he thought it was gonna be this way. And I wish I just can't change that. I just wish I was stronger. I just wish I just wasn't that weak and stupid, you know? That I had to make him leave everything. Because it's weird, because I had to do it myself. I had to do it. And I know how hard it is. So you would think like that you know how it feels to leave everything that you're fulfilled with to take care of something else that at the end of the day it's not even your responsibility, you know? So yeah, I just wish I had a way to say I'm sorry, you know? Sometimes I feel it's my fault that he died so young. Like maybe I just put too much pressure on him. Maybe I just did it wrong, you know? And then I found myself rolling into this dark hole of depression again. Because I feel that way. I'm starting to feel the same way I feel 4 years ago when I started to get really depressed and, you know, started to gain weight and I don't want to get out of the bed and I cry for everything and anything. And the worst part is that I just don't have nobody to talk about it. Because I have friends, not that I don't have friends, but even when I have friends before, it was only him, the one that I would talk about stuff like this. It was only him, the one that will listen the right way, you know. And then I have an amazing husband that loves me and takes care of me and is going above and beyond to fulfill that spot. But I just can't. He's doing good, you know. He takes care of me and the girls, and he has taken a lot of the responsibilities that my dad used to do. But my dad was always on top of everything, you know. He's the kind of guy that wants to do everything in an hour, you know. So my husband is not that kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that needs a day to plan, a day to buy materials, a day to actually do it, a day to clean what he did. You know, my husband he takes his time. Let's just say it that way. And my dad wasn't like that. I am not like that. You know, I am the one that I start something today and it's gonna be done today. And it drives me insane. So I got so used to delegating a lot of stuff to my dad because I knew it was gonna get done in my mind time frame. Because in my mind, all my time frames are in my mind. They're not like, they don't really exist. There's not a deadline. But in my mind, everything had a deadline. Everything had a timeline. And my dad, you know, he understood because he was the same way. So every time that I give him a task, I know he was going to finish it. It was going to be done. So my husband, no, it's not like that. So I had to go back again to get used to of things getting done when they get done, you know. It might take a day, it might take a week, but they will get done. And I appreciate him because he wouldn't even think of doing anything, you know, at all. Because my dad would do it anyways. Like, you know, he would just do it. So my husband didn't even put 2 cents together that needed to be done because it was done. But he has stepped up and he has done a lot of good things and he's trying. But today I had to talk to him because, you know, I spend the whole day in my dad's room, which is a shrine, because I haven't even touched anything. You know, it's The bed has the same sheets he has the week he died, in the same way he left them. He still have the same soda can in top of like his drawers in the exact way. Everything that was on top of his drawers in the exact same way. Everything is the same way. Like I keep the door closed because every time I open the door I can smell it. It's like its smell is still in the room. So I always keep the room closed because that way I can, when I open the door and I close my eyes, it feels like he's still there, you know? So I spend the whole day today in his room, you know, smelling his clothes, and I just feel like, you know, I feel so weird. Nobody understands the relationship I have with my dad because we were so close, so close. My dad was so smart, you know. He knew about everything. He knew a little bit about everything because he spent his entire life learning documentaries, books. He never closed himself to knowledge, and he was always learning a new thing. And I am just like that too. I enjoy learning, and I don't enjoy college, but I enjoy learning. You know, I enjoy knowing a little bit of everything. Because that's how life should be lived, you know. People should know a little bit of everything and live their life like that. Oh my God, my nose is so bad. I don't know why. But yeah. And I've been crying all day, and that's how I look like this. I am a mess. I really am a mess. I find a letter today that for some reason he thought he won the lottery. And he writing up a paper. He thought that he really won the lottery. And I was like, what? Like, what is he talking about? I was so excited. And then the letter was dated 2017, September. And I was like, Jesus, when this happened? And then I remembered this conversation that we had. He showed me the card, and he was like, how much do I win over here? And I'm like, okay, over here. So I checked it, and he was so excited when he told me about it. I was like, Dad, you got $25. I think he thought about it. He thought he won $125,000. And now I remember about this. I didn't even think of it until I saw that letter. For some reason, he'd write this letter saying that he was happy because he was going to be able to make the fence for the back of the house, and that he was going to buy himself a little car, white or blue, and that with the rest of the money, he was just going to, you know, save it or something. I don't know. The letter was crazy. He was so happy. That letter. I don't know. Where did he come from with that? But he did. And so he did. He bought himself. And then I remember this story that, and then he said, oh, I thought I won a lot more. I remember that. And when I read that letter, I realized I remember that thing. And then I remember this year, a couple months ago, he was like, do you remember when I thought I won a bunch of money? And you're like, yes, I don't know. You shouldn't be buying those scratch-offs if you don't even know how to play with them. And then I found that letter, and I just found it, I feel so bad. He probably was so happy that he won all that money, and then he didn't, you know? I I loved him. I love him so very much. And I miss him because there were stupid things like that. He would joke about little things. It would. And he had the most weird sense of humor that I have. You know, he's about to, in 6 days, he's about to turn 64. 64 years old. Yeah. He's about to turn 64. And he's not here. And then my mom, who used drugs like if she's a junkie, have so many health issues. I don't know how she's alive. She's still going around. There's this saying that said that bad people never die. I guess. That's my mom right there. I was telling my husband that I don't wish my mom any wrong. Like I'm glad that she's alive and that, you know, that she has found a good husband and that she is trying her best to get her shit together in the best way she knows how to do, because she doesn't know how to do shit. So I'm happy for her. It's not that I'm not. But I sometimes feel that God just played me a sick joke. Remember when I started this conversation saying that I always have the worst luck in my life? Well, this is it. This is another hit of the universe to myself. Because if I was going to lose a parent, I always thought, look, my mom is so sick. She has so many issues. She does so many stupid shit. She's the one who's going to end up dead first. You know? And I'm being real. It's not that I want my mom to be dead. Don't be wrong. It's just that that's real, okay? My mom is so insane and has so many issues health-wise and mentally-wise that I always thought that she was going to go first. And I always been prepared for that phone call. Like, you know, your mom, you know, she passed away. But my dad was the healthiest person I know, activest person I know. Like, in my mind, my dad wasn't. You know, my dad was going to live longer. He did smoke. And that probably would have cut his life short. It did, actually. But, you know, I didn't thought it was going to be that short, you know? That sudden. Every time I think about my dad being dead, the same image always goes to my head. And, you know, he was laying down on that hospital bed, you know, that cath room. And for some reason in the hospital, they didn't even close his eyes. You know that when somebody dies with their eyes open? Well, apparently he died with his eyes open. He just passed away. You know, when he died and I got to go in, he was with his eyes open, but he had kind of like a smile, like, and I don't know if he just cinched his teeth or what, but he was in a smile. And yeah. And when I opened the door, I saw him with his eyes open. kind of smiling. And for a second, I thought, holy shit, he's not dead. You know what I mean? He's not dead. He's a. And I remember the lady holding me. I think she kind of realized that, that it looked like he was alive, So she kind of shook me, like he's not alive. So I had to close his eyes and hold his hand and try to move his head. I tried to do all that because I wanted him to be comfortable. I cannot get that picture out of my mind as much as I want to. I can't. I cannot. It's been a month and a half since it's been a month and a half since he died. And I just feel like it was yesterday. I just feel like I don't know. Like I want to find a piece of him somewhere. I go to his room and go into his closet and look at papers again and again and again, just to try to find his handwriting or try to find something he write or a book that he read, or I don't know, something about him that I didn't know. For some reason, I don't know, I've been trying to find something that I didn't know about him. It's like I want to keep getting to know my dad, because my dad was such a quiet man and so full of secrets in a certain way, because my dad never told me that he was feeling sick. My dad wasn't the kind of person who will worry me with his problems. I always find that out because I am intuitive, and I will nag him until he will eventually tell me something. But he was never the kind of guy to really tell me anything. So I'm just like, I look into his things, his closet, his boxes. I keep looking through his things in the hope to find something that, like if he left me something, and I'm not talking about money or anything, I'm talking about like some words, something that, because I don't feel like I got the chance to say goodbye, and everything happened so quickly, that I just don't feel like I say goodbye, and I want him to. I want to find something that, and I do. I find stuff like I found a box full of photos of me when I joined the military, when I was a lot younger, photos of the kids, photos of my husband, photos of my brother, photos, lots of photos, and cables, lots of cables, and flashlights and batteries, because that man was obsessed with cables. There were boxes and bags and boxes and bags full of cables. Don't ask me why, but they were full of cables. So yeah, that's all I found. Weird, huh? And I don't know, I guess I did this vlog because I need to talk, and I know nobody's gonna listen or read or look at it, but I miss you. I miss you, Daddy. Me hace mucha falta, papi. Me hace muchísima falta. Y no sé qué hacer. No sé dónde empezar. Okay? So sometimes I just want to close my eyes and like see it in my dreams or something. Like, you know, I want all this. Like, it's funny because I don't really, I don't know. I'm always, I believe and I don't. Like, I believe there should be all this like mystical thing in life, a spiritual side, this world of dreams, you know. And but I really don't believe in it. It's just that I wish they were true. But I found myself really hoping it's true, so I can close my eyes and see him and talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I don't care. I just want to talk to him. And yeah, that's all. Bye.